I said, no, I'm not going with you. I'm going alone. I'm going to town. Oh, so when are we fetching the kids? I will fetch the kids when I come back. The person who said so was the husband. We've got bad news for you. And then she said, Kuluma Mama Gasbo. Mama Gasbo is the sister-in-law. Hi, Zama. Where you left your kids, the place got burnt and Amahle's body was burnt to ashes and you will not be able to find her body. Kids came running. Said, Mama Amahle has been burnt to death. Amahle has been burnt to death. Amahle's body will not find Amahle's body, Mama Amahle. Children. People that have left there. Mina, when I left, they had burnt.
Even Sarah.
So it had happened. It was not lies. It was true.
Sarah died in that fire?
Yeah, ma'am.
With her kids?
Yeah, 5. The whole family. Yeah, now when I was asking who took out Sizo, I'm told Sizo was thrown out of the window. How can you throw a child out of the window? Yes, with the intention that you are saving the child, and that child does not get injured, does not get harmed. I mean, the answer I got was that Sarah took her out. And I said, it's good that Sarah took my baby out. So she couldn't even save one of her grandkids. Are you the mother of the little boy? I said, yes. And they said, no, we were told these kids were abandoned by their mother. For that matter, Sizo, my child's name is Sizo. My son's name is Sizo. He was no longer Sizo. He was Emmanuel. He was given a new name on Sunday before even the pathologist started his job. He now was told Amahle has died and her body will not be found. Now, when we went to the pathologist said, we even, Lontuza Lapa, recovered the skeleton of the cat. Now, when it is said that Amahle's body was there, we should have found Amahle.
Of course.
I've been through well and back. Nobody by my side. Nobody to console me. Nobody to call home me. Hey, what the man I told me. But then you got longer. I've been through well and back. Nobody by my side. Nobody to console me. Nobody to call home me. Hey, what the man I told me. But then you got longer.
It will not be found.
Yeah.
So now the pathologist said, Mina is a pathologist. The only time the human body will be ashes is when cremated. When a human body has been burnt, no matter how bad, the skull and the pelvic parts of the body
will always be there.
Are the hardest and are the ones that will remain. So the one of your child who has been burnt to ashes and the body not gonna be found, I don't know about that. Hence, we had this body of this little baby. That was number 1. Number 2, in that meeting, for reasons unknown to me, the social worker was in that meeting. And before we actually started that meeting, the guy who was chairing the meeting asked that we all introduce ourselves because he said, I want to know who's who here. And when it came to the social worker, she said, I'm the social worker. And this police guy asked her, so why are you here? She said, no, I'm here to support Zam. It was for the first time that I saw this lady. And I asked myself, inside my heart, who told this woman
that there's a meeting here?
There's a meeting here. Because, Mina,
you didn't.
Since this whole thing, I've never spoken to this woman except the day she said I didn't tell her. Why I didn't tell her that Amahle's father is in Newcastle. And this And this police guy said, I really don't understand why you are here, but it's fine. Okay, and the meeting was, we had a meeting, and the meeting was adjourned and we left.
So what was the conclusion with the meeting?
The conclusion with the meeting was that from everybody's report, Amahle was not in the fire.
Yeah.
And what actually was like stamping that on were the pictures. That for the mere fact that Amahle is not on these pictures,
And her remains are not found in the firehouse.
Amahle was not in the was not here.
Yeah.
And then now to me it was evident that when I called and asked Sarah
To speak to Amahle,
Amahle
she was not there. Yes.
And Sarah knew where Amahle was, kahle kahle. Because if she didn't know what had happened to Amahle, Sarah was supposed, one, to have opened the case. And Sarah was supposed to have sent the police to look for me.
Exactly.
So that they know, where is this child? Is this woman not the one who came here and sent people to come abduct this child? Which was going to be very impossible because Sarah had these big dogs. So you wouldn't get into Sarah's premises
just like that.
More,
and again, the other questionable thing is, if a mother is calling and saying, "Can I please speak to my child?" and you say the child is not here, it's a normal thing that when the child comes back, you will call the mother and say, "I know you wanted to speak to Amahle. Here's Amahle now."
And it's now as a mother, you know, Guti, the reason I want to speak to the child. Now, you know, when did I left Amahle here?
Definitely.
So you understand when I say I want to speak to my child.
Yeah.
Guti, what do I mean?
Of course.
What do I mean? It's for me and it's for the child. So when I, as a mother, you know, if it was a male who did this, maybe we would understand and say, a man does not understand the story of a mother and a baby or mother and a child. I mean, but you are a mother and you've got kids. So when I say I want to speak to my child in Owamie, you understand very well what
1,000%.
exactly. Sis. Oh, okay. Now I went back to my family, my mother family. When I got there, the Sisi had gone to work that day. She started her day shift. She started her first night shift actually. So I got her in the house because I started on Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. And then when she came from work, she asked me, how did it went with the meeting? I said, I know it went well. And she asked me, so what are they saying about Amahle? I said, they said Amahle was not in the fire. From the information, from whatever they've done, it does not look like Amahle was there. Amahle is missing. You know, I got the answer that I didn't ask, but I was given a statement. The social worker said she's also leaving Newcastle. She's relocating, going back to her hometown. Yep. She's leaving Newcastle. She's resigning. She's going to leave. She's going back to her hometown. You know, at that time, I didn't understand that how does Amahle's missing had to do
with the resigning of the social worker that mysteriously knew where, when, and the time of the meeting that had to do with the reports that is to be given about Amahle.
Exactly. Now the answer is, it means the reason that she came to this meeting, this man told her that there's a meeting. Come and hear for yourself what will be said there.
Which man?
The father of my kids. So the reason she came to that meeting, it means that man, Pelagush, these people were talking. And to yabona ukuthi these people, kahle kahle.
When you gave her your
phone number, called that man. And that man said, give me my mtwana. I'll pay you.
That's what you're suspecting.
Yebo. And it kept on peeling and peeling. The layers kept on peeling. You remember the lady that I went, the one who said she was at the hospital, the HIV clinic lady?
Yes.
I went to see her at the hospital. When I got there, I found her neighbor who also came to come see her. That neighbor, when I got there, that neighbor, when I asked her, the lady, where is the social worker? She said to me, Ukhona. And she was sleeping, she was on the bed. She said, Ukhona. And then, now, this is Zama. This is the neighbor. So when I said, Guwe, Ukhona. Ne? And then after that, I said, talking to that person on the other side. At that time, I didn't understand. Fast forward, in 2012, I called the very same lady that I went to see at the hospital. I asked her, where's the social worker? She said she left Newcastle. And I asked her, when did she leave Newcastle? She said, I will tell you some other time. You know, the following day, I woke up. I called Newcastle Hospital. I asked for the social work department. I asked for this lady. This guy said, who do you want to speak to? I told her. He said, left here long time ago. Hold on, let me ask for you. And he asked the other guy, because it was a he. He said, he left in 2010. Long time ago. Now, I could match now that the reason the social worker left Newcastle, it's because she could see that if now it is discovered Uti Amahle was not in the fire, Amahle is missing, if the police investigate, she will be in a mess as well.
So wait, the social worker was a man?
No, she was a she.
Oh, the social worker was the woman.
Yes, was a woman. Yes, but Kushkuti, from what she gathered from this meeting, gave her Ogutiazin.
They are not believing that Amahle actually died in that fire.
They don't believe.
Which definitely she must not have been there. If they found remains of a cat,
exactly,
a small cat, how can they not find the remains of Amahle?
Of a human being.
Exactly.
So that's how Amahle went missing, Sisi, to date. Now, after that, we couldn't do DNA. Now I'm asking the father, can you go to a traditional hill? He said, I'm not going there. This child has bent.
That's what he said.
Yeah, life must go on.
But now the question that I'm having is that, do you know where the father stays? Is he in your life? Do you see him from time to time?
I don't see him time to time. But I know he's here in Joburg.
So he still doesn't have a relationship with his son?
He does not have a relationship with his son.
Because he claims that that's not his child.
Yeah.
Have you ever asked him to do DNA with that child?
He does not want to do anything, but the child is not his. So the DNA part is going to take place now because I've put him on for maintenance. So now, it's only now that he will have to do the DNA because he has to prove that the child is his or it is not. And on which grounds, it's a very long story. But again, that is how Amahle went missing. And then now, when the police now the Newcastle police didn't want to take care of this case. It was from pillar to post until I went. At that time, when Mamunye Ngubeni was still a commissioner at KZN, he took the case. I got the police who was very keen, who could see what has happened here. But guess what? The police disappeared into thin air with no assistance. When I came back to Joburg, I tried people who know so and so to assist me in the police so that I can get my child. Let me tell you, no one was able to help me until Power FM during COVID-19. I had consulted one guy, Sipho Mantula, and then he consulted the Kaya people. It was during the Child Protection Week, I think this week in 2020. And then I was featured on Power FM. And then one police guy said he was actually head of the Department of Women and Child Violence Story in Pretoria, said, I will take care of this case. I will assist me. Oh, I Mampela, he got the people to assist me. Along that whole thing, the police shown how incompetent were they with all this information that I've shared with you today now. I mean, being a police, there are a number of things that you could do to establish who played which role and what happened. But instead, the police asked me, do you have an ID number of that social worker so that we can look for her? How could I have a phone number of a social worker? I'm not a cousin to a social worker.
Of course, and like how many years ago? Because it's their job to have to go to Newcastle and go to the hospital where she was working. Then you know her name at least.
Exactly.
They can then start there with the name, and then they'll get the address, the file and everything. Then start the process of tracking her, because she's the one that started with everything. You understand? This is just like,
I could
wow.
not be assisted. And then I went back to the HIV lady, and I said to her, "Hi man, don't you know a police there in Newcastle that can assist me with the case of my child?" And she asked me a question, Marazam, why Ganti are you keep on with this thing? Why don't you leave this thing?
How? Why don't you just leave your child?
Hey, why don't you leave this thing? God will see.
What?
I was like, leave. Like, your child is missing, or your child, not this equipment. Your child. And the person tells you, leave it, God will see.
Oh.
You know, after that statement, I knew that this woman,
she knew something.
She knows what happened
something.
to my child. And that actually enabled me to gather information and not to give up until now, as we speak. The case is with the Mkhwanazi.
Okay.
Now.
Good.
So now, at least I know that my child has what? Like, I'm going to have closure. Not very long, maybe, because they are working on the case.
Yeah, no, in Mkhwanazi we trust.
Yeah, we trust.
He should just be the minister of this, or he should actually be the president, honestly. I know, and I love him. I won't lie. Like, he really is doing his job. He cares for the people. So, job. Yeah.
So, at least that part of Amahle has been sorted. But unfortunately, for the past 15 years with Amahle missing, my life as well has never came back to normal, to order. I came back to Joburg. You understand which one has not been an employee. Now you have to start looking for a job. I got a job. I started working at Sunday Times. I worked there for a few months. And then I got a job at a company that was doing shuttle. And then when Uber came in, they shut down. Now I had to try now and do something. And I started doing my Uber. And then when I thought my shuttle service was coming together, COVID struck. I always say, there's nothing that I hate like COVID, because I took it so personal, the issue of COVID, because for me, it was a time that my life was starting
to come together.
And then this pandemic happened. But I didn't give up. I then started a spices business, which I started during COVID-19. I started to push and push I developed spices. I took them for testing. I won some competitions. So these competitions that I was winning, they enabled me to do the product development. And I was like trying to put things together, putting things together. Until things fell apart again this year. I had opened a shop. I was trying to put things together. Things just fell apart. As I'm speaking, things have fallen apart. I'm a zero as I'm sitting here. Now, with this falling apart, I went to study food service management in 1996 at DUT. While I was studying there, my first year and second year, when I was in my second year, I got a bazaar, a merit bazaar. And when I was supposed on the third year to complete my studies, my mother, I was born here in Joburg, and my mother said, you must come back from KZN because the people in KZN, they are going to kill you. Because you know the violence in KZN, how violent KZN is. So people are scared of KZN. But me not there, I was like, fine. Nothing bad had happened to me at that time. And my mother said, come back and complete your studies in Joburg. When I came back, I went to Vets Tech. When I went there to complete the studies, I don't know what was going on between me and my lecturers, but things just didn't work at Vets. I incompleted my food service. Then I started a business again, a cleaning service company.
Okay, yeah. So now you are taking us back. So this was the time back then before your mom passed.
Before my mom.
So it means when you went to KZN, it was actually not exactly your first time. You had gone there.
I had lived there before as a student.
Yeah, you just didn't know people. Maybe that's why you felt comfortable to can go to Newcastle after things fell apart this side. Okay, that makes sense.
I've known people in KZN before.
Though you didn't have family, but you were familiar a little bit with the place.
Bit with KZN.
Okay.
I came here back. I started the clean savings company. Now, when I think it was in my second year of the cleaning service company, I said to my mother, you know what? I want to buy myself a house because now I'm working. My mother said, you can't have a house. You are a girl. You are still young. I was 26, 27. You are too young. You can't buy a house. There's no man that will marry you with a house. But I'm working. I want to have my things. My mother closed that chapter and she said, you've got a home. A home that I couldn't live in. The home I had to leave because of the feud. I'm sitting here. I'm homeless. I'm depressed. My son asked me every day for how long are we going to suffer like this? For how long are we going to suffer? I don't know what to tell the child. I really don't know what to tell this child. Now, this side I'm looking for Amahle. This side I'm trying to put things together. Things here are just falling apart. You know, the reason I came here today, I was like, you know, somebody, somewhere, somehow, in one way or the other. I don't know whether this thing is spiritual or this thing is what, but in one way, I need to be assisted. I'm sitting here. I have closed the shop, the spice shop, because things didn't go well. I'm left with a space where I'm renting, and the space where I'm renting for the production of these spices, my business is not happening. But I don't know why it is not happening. Things are just not coming together.
Do you have those spices?
I hope I have those spices. And I make them from scratch. I produce these spices. And I also even have places where I deliver the spices. But it's not big volumes. So when that money comes, we use it, like it becomes an income that makes us to
survive
out of that. So now I had things from the storage, and the storage people, I've kept things in storage for 15 years. 15 years. And I could not pay those things. And the storage people said, you must come and fetch your things, because we're going to auction them.
Yeah.
Now, all these things, they are all around me. When I called Sedek on Monday crying, I said to this lady, I don't even know why I'm calling you, but I'm calling you because now I need assistance with either getting a job or finding people who can buy the spices, like something that can make me to survive, because each time when things start to not work well, I think of killing myself. But now I can see what it is not going to be a solution. I've tried it. Actually, immediately after Amahle's passing, I did try to commit suicide, and it didn't work for me. So I could see what, it's not working for me. So, and if I do it, how will Amahle have closure? Because I'm very sure that where Amahle is, Owamie, she has questions and she wants her mother. So,
do you have Amahle's pictures?
Yes.
When she was young? Can you please send us those pictures? We're going to publish those pictures with a hashtag, where is Amahle? So that's the hashtag that ninjas, I want us to make trend. We are going to take those pictures. I'm also going to post those pictures on TikTok. I'll post them on Twitter with a hashtag, where is Amahle? Please take those pictures, post them, distribute them wide with a hashtag where is Amahle. Because if they were able to change your son's name, I have a feeling that Amahle's name might also be changed.
Exactly.
But at least, maybe she also might have a picture of herself when she was younger, that she can be able to see that picture and see the pictures of the hashtag where is Amahle, and then be able to say, oh my gosh, that is me. You understand? So we will make sure that we also put out your email address. For privacy, obviously we won't put out your phone numbers. My email address will also be here, so that if you are Amahle, or you are someone that thinks you know where Amahle is, or you know where Amahle is, please make sure that you do send an email. Preferably you can send her mother that email, and please man, only people that will be don't spam her emails. Just if you know that you have got like a something real, please actually do so. The hashtag that I'm gonna beg you guys to make trend is hashtag where is Amahle. And even though at this point we are highly suspecting that her name has been changed, just look at the picture. The name at this point, we're gonna just say hashtag Amahle because that's the name that she had, but we think that her name might have been changed since your son's name was also changed. So the question that I'm also having now is that your sister in Newcastle, the one that kept on postponing, did you ever find out if she had any because it's very suspicious that she kept on postponing, we're gonna go. The people that called her, and when she took that call and went out the first time, had you ever but you had given the phone numbers that time for them to fetch Amahle.
But the person who called her is a totally different person. Because I asked him, because when she came back, I asked her, when you left here, where were you going? She said, no, the person who called me is so and so. She's the one who told me what had happened, where your kids were. Now, last year, when I went there with the police to clarify on who called who about this, that lady whom he mentioned, whom he said called her about Amahle's issue, said, Aibo, I never called that woman Mina. Mina? Mina, nami I heard from her. No, sister said, Aibo, I never called that woman Zama. She said, I never called that woman mean. And the congregant lady, the one whom, I think there were 3 when they told me, the church member lady.
Yeah.
When I told her, Uguti, she's now denying. Because you know what she did? When the police went the first time in 2022 for her to write a statement on what happened, she said, Yena, she does not know, Uguti, she delayed me. Yena, she was not there, she was at work. She does not know what I'm talking about. She heard that there were delays, but she does not know who delayed who. She does not know about the story of Amahle. And that was 2022. And then last year, was I've got a video that I did with the Sen twins in 2020. And then I also had a video that I was also interviewed by some other organization in 2021.
Okay.
Same story. So I think she saw that video. So when we went to see her last year, she said to me when I got there, yeah, you keep on going around and telling people that I'm involved in your child, in the missing of your child. I said, Mina, what did I say? She said, what do you mean when you say I delayed you? I said, I didn't say you delayed me so that Amahle will get missing. No. Mina, I'm relating a story. Pera, when the police when the police are asking me, how did the child went missing? I relate. And then the police will ask me, where were you? Because that's a very big question that everybody asks me. With, okay, Zama, we understand. The kids were at Sarah's. But tell us, when this whole thing was happening, where were you? And then I told me, no, I was with so-and-so. Now, when so-and-so kept on postponing you, we understand it was not intentional. But now when she had the news on what has happened, why did she leave you? Why did she leave you behind? Because the question is, okay, we understand. The delay has nothing to do with her. But now we are hearing the news about my kids. Now you are leaving me behind. And then you are coming with a story. Why you didn't go with Zama? Now when the police asked her, she said, Yena, she was at work. And now when I tell the congregant lady, she said, Daibo, what does she mean when she said she was at work? Because me now when I was coming from work, as usual, I passed at their stall. And when I got to their stall on that day, she said, I've been waiting for you so that you can accompany me, so that we can be able to deliver the news to Zama.
And now she's acting like that lady is the one that told her the news. This does not make sense.
No, she's not even saying that. She says she does not know about that. It's better if she's saying who is saying who. Yena, she was not here. She does not know about this. She didn't tell me about Amahle's missing. She heard it from work where she's working. She was called by the police from the nearby police station where Sarah was stationed. So Yena, she does not. She had it at work, and she forgot that. Mina, when I relate this story, even what is written down is always the same, because I knew days by heart. On this day,
you were. You remember what happened
on this day. What happened on this day, and even with her delivering the news, it was with her and her husband. She said she does not know that.
So,
So I felt, Uti, you know what? South Africa needs to know this thing, this story, actually. South Africa and Newcastle per se. I won't even say Mkwanazi needs to know, because Mkwanazi now knows about the case. But the community of Newcastle is owed answers.
To know what happened to the child.
Happened
but the other part again now that I'm just asking myself is, obviously, Amahle, from everything that we're having, even the pathologists and everyone, Amahle was not in that fire. So, because at first I thought maybe they were going to say there was a fire, and then the fire just burned, and unfortunately she was the one that was in there, and that's a cover-up, right? But so it means that whatever it is that happened, Amahle was missing, and the fire was just an unfortunate event that happened, because how then could they... Clearly, Sarah could not have been the one, because she cannot sacrifice herself and her whole entire family to die in a fire.
You know what? Fire was not an unfortunate event. It was not. You know why? This lady who said Amahle's body has been burnt to ashes, how did she know about what happened at Sarah's place? I'm asking you. Why she is the one who delivered the news of what happened at Sarah's place before the pathologist could do what? The identifications. And I was coming here, Mina, today. How could I tell you when I was at the gate waiting for you that this globe has broken if I was not here first to enter these premises
And see that the globe is broken?
Yes.
Okay, we will leave it there. Yeah. Because that part I was like, what's you?
How did you know?
And that the body is not going to be found. And the body was not found.
Yeah, so how do you know that not being there? Because at least, you know, if this message when Owamie was delivered by the police, even if they were saying it out of being careless, because that would also be
a
careless
statement.
But
yes.
you would understand, because they would defend themselves and say,
we saw the level of maybe fire or the level of stuff that got burned.
Exactly. And because we have been there more than 5 times, so hence we felt Sarah's, when Amahle's body would not be found. It's because after they've done what they did, I'm sure one of them or 2 of them or 3 of them said, "No, guys, we've done this thing. We've done. Amahle has been taken. Guys, now what are we going to say to Zama? Because remember that lady said to me, Naganjani, on Wednesday, we will go to Sarah's on Tuesday, because on Wednesday, I'm starting my shift. Meaning, this whole delay process included Sarah. That because when Owamie, you have asked me the question, what was Sarah's reaction when I kept on postponing coming to fetch the kids? And there was no reaction. There was no point where she said, you know what, I think I need to phone this social worker because I really don't understand you. You've just given birth. You said you're coming to fetch the kids. And then all of a sudden, you keep on postponing. It means you are somewhere, doing something that I don't understand, and you've left me with the kids here. So that social worker must come get you, and you come and be with your kids, which Sarah didn't do. So I'm sure after they've done that, they were like, you know what, for Zama to be told something that will give her sense, we must burn this place. And then we will say Amahle has been burnt. What I don't know is the killing, the death of Sarah was part of it, because remember, Sarah, I'm sure they said, you know what, this woman is going to tell the truth when Zama comes here. So they made sure that before this woman goes to work on Wednesday, this thing is sealed. And
I mean, that's allegedly, by the way,
yes.
right? That's just suspicions and speculations that you're having.
Allegedly, because how it happened, it does not give sense. And just to give you a tip, I've tried to want to talk to Sarah's family, to tell them, to hey people, Pela, ngati this story, the puzzle is coming together. And you guys, I think you would love to have
closure of what happened.
They said we're not interested. on several occasions.
So, hey, you said there was a white woman there that also had 2 children.
Yep.
She survived.
She survived
With her children.
with her children.
Did you ever talk to her?
I never talked to her myself, but the police once met her. She told the police, "Oh, I know Zama. I know the baby. I know Amahle. Amahle was not there when the fire broke." She told them. She said,
So did she ever mention like what broke the fire?
no,
Like
no.
what started the fire? Nobody knows. How come she was able to escape and Sarah, the rest of her family were not able to?
You know what? You know, there's something that is very funny. One lady who's working for the intelligence, she once retrieved a photo of all people who died that was taken before they died. Angazi noma you hear me. Angithi 11 people died. That photo was taken before those people died. So all the people that were in that photo were captured, but before they died. Now the question was, how did the person who took this picture know that all these people will die in a fire? And then all those who survived, they are not in that picture of those people who died. And that's not being understand.
Because that white woman and her kids were also not in that picture.
Exactly, because they never died. And Caesar was not there. But all the 11 that died, they were in the picture. So now you ask yourself, it's like, it looks like people came in to say, when one side, because Owamie, it does not give sense why Caesar and that woman's
And her kids were not there.
being there. Can you believe that all the people who survived in this fire, none of those people had pens? Oh,
A fire that killed 11 people.
Hey.
Those that survived had no bands.
How come? Kanjani? I mean, Ganjani. Ganjani, sis.
And the witness here is that white woman. Why was she not put as the lead witness?
She would have been put as the lead witness. The Newcastle police didn't want to take care of the case. No one wanted that case in Newcastle. SAPS in Newcastle didn't want to investigate this case. They didn't want to investigate it. So, and the police that was assigned for this, like that guy, he was like so keen that he will do his best. But let me tell you, he came to a point where when I called him, he wouldn't answer calls. The SAPS here, when they drove to Newcastle to meet him, he postponed them for a week until they came back to Joburg without seeing him.
Sure.
So when that delegation of police came back, they were like, that team came back, they were like, what we saw in Newcastle, we are fine. That gentleman didn't want to meet us. So it leaves question marks on.
Yeah, there's a lot of dots that just don't add up here.
And the non-adding of those dots actually completes the puzzle. If you are competent enough, you would be able to put the things together. Do you know that when the police wanted to go to meet that social worker, they called her using most the SAPS number, and it reports. Me say SAPS.
It reports.
She didn't answer the phone until the Pretoria police called the police in her hometown to ask them to look for her and tell her that when we call, she must answer the phone. And the question was, what made a social worker not to answer?
An SAPS number.
Because those are
part of
people
your
that
job.
you work with. And it doesn't matter whether it's SAPS from UK or it's SAPS from Limpopo or Gupi. Being a social worker, part of your job, you work with almost
They are
everybody.
connected.
They are connected. So her not answering that call, for me, it was part of the dot connection, Owamie. It was part of the dot connection.
This really is just one of those. But I think what I will also do is that I will ask for your account number, and then I'm gonna put it somewhere. I'm sure in the beginning of the video, middle, and also maybe here, whatever that you guys can be able to offer her. Please, guys, let's try help.
Asking.
And also, I want to know your spice business. Please, maybe you can send me pictures. You can send how people can order, and then we'll be able to put them here so that at least if you also want to order, you can be able to order, and then we can support her business. I'll also order some because I love spices anyway. But now, as we're closing, I don't even know. Hey, what would you like to just say in closing?
In closing is number one is that I won't say people must not trust people, but I've learned that you actually think a person is fine with you and realize very late that this person is actually not fine with me. Though you wouldn't know what you would have done to that particular person. I remember with you the other day relating to you what your helper did to you. And I was like, it's people like these, a person that you trust and you think you've got good relations, you are fine with this person, that you realize one day, you know what, this is a snake and this person is very dangerous. So that is the number one that I've learned from me relocating from Newcastle, from Johannesburg going to Newcastle, because I'm very certain that in one way or the other, we are going to discover who actually put my life and that of my kids and myself on the spot here. Not very long. And secondly, I also wanted to share with mothers out there, because you know what my mother did to me. I was her only daughter, and my mother, I'm very sure she loved me. But this thing of her, myself having planned my life, studying, doing very well, getting bursaries, getting opportunities, because actually that year that I was going to complete, I had already had a job as well. And she just crushed my career like that, because she loved me so much that I would be killed by people in KZN, and which was something that was not going to happen. And today I'm where I am. That's the second one. So that as a parent, even if you want, advise your child and allow them to explore themselves. Whatever, as long as it's not something illegal, allow them to explore the love of whatever, because I wouldn't be sitting here at my age without a house, struggling to make ends meet, going through spirits that I cannot even explain because I don't know what is going on. If I had completed my studies, I would be working somewhere and having my life. I'm not saying all these things wouldn't have happened, but I'm sure maybe I would have had something. I don't know. You understand? And also in closing, I've got the challenge. My teeth, I don't know what had happened, but I've tried several times to go to Joburg Gen to get my teeth fixed or whatever, but it looks like somehow there's something that I don't understand. Before COVID, I had gone there, opened a file so that they can assist me, because I had my gum bleeding at that time. I opened a file. I went there only once and they said I must wait for them. Now, my confidence is not there. I need to go out, promote my business and do this. I cannot smile. I cannot do anything because I'm not feeling confident about them. And if there could be anyone who can assist me with regards to that, guys, I would appreciate. And maybe even with a job, because I'm sitting here now. You know, my landlord, she's a very nice person, but when it comes to the end of the month, she just becomes a different person. And it's something that I understand, because also she budgets with this money. So it's her source of income as well. So sitting where I am, I'm not actually really asking for handouts per se, but whoever feels like donating, they can do. But whoever feels like offering me a job, I'm very competent. I'm a very competent person. I'm an entrepreneur. I know how to develop spice. I can help someone who wants to start a business in the food sector. I can assist them and have their products tested with SAPS, not with my funds, but I've got resources in terms, I'm resourceful.
Information.
Yeah, I've got information, so I'm resourceful. I can assist, so that maybe that can be a battering of me to get something with doing something. But guys, please, I would really appreciate your assistance. Please help me. And please give me support about my daughter as well. Like the Coca stories and your Jocelyn Smith stories. I really need support on this matter, because at the end of the day, there must be closure.
And I mean, if you are a dentist ninja, please, man, also shoot us a DM. We can even, promote your practice, and we can also just, do a journey where, a video can be taken, the before, the after, the pictures and everything. And you can show people out there, like, what you can do. But the craziest thing is that when we were talking here, I was looking at you, and I'm looking at your teeth, and to me they are so beautiful. I feel like they fit you so much, like and I understand of the fact that whatever it is that is an insecurity to someone, you do not see the beauty of it yourself. But for me, I do not even want to lie. Like, I was just looking at you, even the way that you were talking. I don't know if obviously we don't have the third angle here, so you guys can be able to see, but I was just looking at you and admiring the way you speak, admiring your teeth and everything. But I think what also the other thing that's very important, this will be the last thing, is, did Amahle have any birthmark that you can remember?
Yes.
Okay.
Kuma bumps.
Okay.
Yes, kuma bumps. I'm not sure whether the left or the right.
Yeah.
But she had a birthmark.
Okay.
Yes.
How did it look? Just so that if you are Amahle, because you might be Amahle and you don't know.
Yes, you might be Amahle
and you don't
for
know.
your mother, because you've got questions. You are very right. Amahle was left-handed.
Okay, left-handed.
Amahle, she's left-handed.
Okay,
actually.
yeah, she's left-handed.
Yeah. And she had a birthmark, I don't know, on her left or on her right, a bump, but I know Guti, she had a birthmark.
How did it look? Was it like round, black, what?
It was brown.
Okay.
Yes, like a map. It was like a map, like birthmark. Yes, it was a map like birthmark. Yes.
Okay. Okay. No, then at
Really,
least
It would be nice, and as you are saying, that if someone there that has a question mark about their mother, they've been told about KZN or Newcastle.
And besides, please, the moment you leave here, I need pictures of Amahle.
I'm gonna do them.
Right now, yeah. As you're living here, send the pictures of Amahle. This, when it goes to editing, we'll be putting pictures of Amahle in the video. And then we'll also post them on Twitter and also on TikTok. And again, ninjas, I trust you guys. Let's do the thing that we do. Let's make this go viral. And the question is, hashtag, where is Amahle? Okay. No, thank you so much for actually joining us. And thank you so much for sharing your story. Ninjas, thank you guys so much for always, being here, joining us, and everyone that can offer services. As you guys have seen, the account number will be here. If you do want to send something, please do. And also, I will get details about her spices. I'm sure that will also be an ongoing. I will actually give you like a promotional video separate, so that we can get the spice business also going. And also, if you are a dentist and you would like to be featured also, please do contact us, and you can be able to help her, and we can also be able to help you. If you watch this channel, you will know that we get hundreds of thousands of views every single week. So it would be a huge business deal for you to also put your practice out there. From Owamie, I love you guys. Stay blessed, and I will definitely see you guys my next upload. Bye, ninjas.